very touched by the reception that we've received here this evening. It's very kind of you to think of us and think of me and always keep me in mind for this event. I'm happy to support tonight the Solsona of Hawaii organization. Actually, before I came tonight, I was actually researching and familiarizing myself with Solsona, because I have to confess to you that in the many times, or the few times I've been to Usnret, I have yet to visit Solsona. But after tonight, certainly my next stop when I go to the office will be Solsona. It's really beautiful from all the accounts I've read. Yes, absolutely. Give yourself a hand. In all the accounts I've read about Solsona, it's really a very beautiful place, at least from my understanding. And I'd like to share with you a little bit of what I researched, which is basically the history of Solsona. Solsona was established as a municipality or a barangay maybe in the 1700s, but prior to that, there was a group of people living there. And they were called the Itnegs, no? And the land actually where they settled was called Kaitnega, before it was called Solsona. And the Itnegs were actually they actually lived in the Cordilleras, from my understanding, and they would come down during the harvest season to harvest the crops that they planted there at the foothills of at the foot of the Cordilleras, where Solsona now is. My understanding is a very fertile valley and a very fertile plain, and very good for farming and agriculture. So when the Spanish came around in the 16th and 17th centuries, unfortunately the Itnegs had to, I guess, give up their harvest lands, and they moved up to the mountains. And the area was called Solsona because Solsona meant place of pushing. So the Itnegs were pushed up to the mountains. And the place was called Solsona. And when the Spanish surveyors came, before they were to settle the town, they said, okay, what is this place called? And they said, Solsona. And so the Spanish said, I guess the way they heard it was Solsona, because there's also a town in northern Spain called Solsona. So they called it Nueva Solsona. It's one of the theories, or that's their understanding of the word Solsona. And so the name stuck. And part of its history also is, my understanding is that it was at one point also part of Digras, and then it became again its own independent municipality, which is really quite fascinating. And also there's so many similarities to here in Hawaii, no? But I'll get into that as I give you the background of the organization, which also, by the way, I was very impressed with the accomplishments of this organization. The organization was organized primarily in 1972 under Mr. Norberto de la Cruz, we met earlier tonight. Yeah, please give him a hand. Mr. de la Cruz founded and served as the president until 1982. The objectives of this organization is to help bring together the people of Solsona living in Hawaii, and to help the members in case of death through monetary contribution or mutual funds, which is a very noble thing to do. The outgoing president, Mr. Jambaro, Andy Jambaro, served as president from 1995 to today, 2010. The activities and his activities and accomplishments are really quite impressive. Under Mr. Jambaro, the Solsona organization participated in the numerous projects in the development and improvement of Solsona by putting together public restrooms in several strategic places in the town proper. And he also financed the construction of the covered bleachers in the town's auditorium. He also donated gardening equipment, lawnmower, hedge trimmers, for the clean and green beautification project of Solsona. And he also participated in the outreach events of the town every other year during the town fiesta. And as you know now, Solsona is the cleanest municipality in all of the Philippines, right? So yeah, absolutely, that's quite an accomplishment. And actually, Solsona of Hawaii had a big role to play in that, and under also Mr. Jambaro's presidency. So I see that from reading the history and also from the accomplishments of this organization.